So to make a stylized coin, I've got this. My polygon disc right now has sides of 3. I'll go 2, if it lets me. Or our subdivision of 2. There we go. Much better. Now, I'm going to grab the edges around the border, extrude. Now, we'll just extrude up. So let's grab the whole thing, pull up. Let's grab the middle. So just grab these, and let's push these down. All right, so I've got this. It's symmetrical. It looks like a coin. May need to be a little bit thicker, so let's scale up a little bit. All right, let's randomize this so it kind of has more of a stylized look. I'm gonna go to my vertex mode, select all of this. Now, go to my edit mesh, transform, open it up. I've got transform at 0.3. So if I have that on and I enable it and I just start to give that a move, I don't want to go too much. Too fast will kind of give me a weird look to it. But you can see it's starting to shape this in some neat ways. So now that I have something like this, I'm going to actually change the amount and then apply a little bit more. Let's do a lot and apply that. Okay, we really have a different looking piece. Now, some of these areas might be overlapping, so what I'm going to do is just give it a quick inspection to make sure that the insides are in and the outsides are out, because you can see that some of these might look like they're potentially going non-manifold, so I might even scale down these edges. Tap the 3 key, I get something like this. That's really nice. I've got the ability to go in and add more detail to some of these edges, so maybe we'll just add a bevel. Now I got a hold edge around that. And this feels more stylized. If you want to keep it more faceted, we can double click on some of these edges. If we throw in a bevel and shrink that down, that's going to hold some of those spots. Not that you would probably want that unless you do that in a pattern. So maybe you do have a coin that does have these points like that. So this gives me the appearance of the coin in a kind of a more almost like sea-eaten or dissolved way, rusted. If I add another bevel to the outer edge, again, I'm going to just clean up this. So that's really, really nice. So now it's just a matter of adding some more details to this. I know I'm at 5,000 triangles when I smooth that up. So let's just compare. When I use smooth preview, I'm at 5,520. But if I were to do smooth, it's 1,080. I think I'll stick with this rather than what the smooth preview is doing. The reality is that smooth preview is actually performing smooth, but with a division of 2. So smooth preview is actually taking smooth and doing that twice. That's what gives us that level. I'm actually reducing that down. I don't want that much. So this is good. I'll do that later though. So now I can just add my fine details to the top of this and I've got a coin. So if it is what is it, like the iron cross or whatever that's on some of these things, starting from the middle, grab all 4 of these and extruding, turn faces off for keep faces together.
And then, so after, if you do that in Maya,
yeah,
you can bring that in ZBrush and make your design on top of it if you're
yes, if you want to do that, yep.
Thank you.
So I'm just kind of building out some patterns here. Whatever this is, I'm going to take this and let's squish it. Put that on the top. I've got a lot of extra polygons on here that I don't need, but I'm just going to use this whole thing with my edit mesh, transform, and then apply, and then let's try and move this thing around a little bit some more. So we might kind of get this to look like it's randomized on the surface of this too. So we now have a coin that if I were to take this and that and smooth preview, got something like that. So stylized, that works. So if you are going for a stylized environment, a little bit more wonky angles and not necessarily something that would be 100% in the real world, this would work. And for those who are not familiar with the game I'm referencing, yeah. I wish it was actually more difficult than it was. It wasn't really, it kind of felt empty, the game. So Sea of Thieves uses stylized form in a lot of the content that they're doing. It looks old and kind of dated at this point. It's been around for a while. But this is certainly, you can see some of that form that I was going for here. It's not completely hard-edged. It's randomized. You see that even just on some of these pieces here too. So that's kind of what I was going for that coin. Let's see if there's a coin. See if these coin. Yeah. So notice like that. That's awesome. This works super well. So you go in that many polygons, I think that's fine. And you'll notice there's a skull on there and some other little details, but it's really, really simple. Last part that I'm going to add to this video, what if I want to have a chunk taken out of this coin? If I grab an edge right here and do bevel, notice it did this. Now, if I go in with a multi-cut and I add this edge, I'm going to just connect this down. And all I got to do is push that down. So I can kind of put a dent on that. Or I can take this whole thing before I make that cut, grab this, and let's do an extrude. And let's shrink this down and push. So now we have this look, which we might still want to add that cut just to here to push this piece back to. And we might even be able to cheat and get rid of this whole loop. Let's see. Yep. That actually worked out well. So now I've got like a dent like this. So let me do it again. Going over here, grabbing an edge, bevel it, take the whole thing, scale it in. You'll notice that it kind of looks weird because it's like there's a candy coated shell on that first and then there's that shape again. So instead we'll just do multi-cut to go down. Double click around that edge loop, control delete. Now you got that dent. You want to push that dent further with a smooth preview. Remember that we can add that hold edge. So we'll bring that back. Now it's going to have that type of look to it. So you guys don't need to go any further than applying some of these methodologies and these types of shapes. Realize that we're going to be making a lot of these coins. If you do want to do the ZBrush path, you're making a lot of crazy stuff, I will work with you on that. But just doing stuff inside of Maya and modeling these things out so they're really interesting forms, that's fine. You can go uniform. It's up to you on what style you want, but I want your references to show me what your methodologies are and why you chose to go in that direction. But this is looking pretty good already. All right, let me stop that.